All right, we are live. Welcome, Craig and Stephen, to a session of Star Trek Adventures. This adventure is titled Transfer of Power, and you guys are going to be playing crewmen aboard the USS Sojourner, a Galaxy-class starship that is just about to enter into orbit around Starbase 105 in the Beta Quadrant. So we'll start with a captain's log from Captain Terrell of the USS Sojourner. She's a female Vulcan, kind of a stern captain. Captain's log, stardate 48214.96. While coming to the rescue of a transport vessel that had come under attack inside the Pinnakin asteroid belt, we've apprehended a Tellarite smuggler named Calgath. He carried with him a small piece of rock, identical in composition and age to the surrounding asteroid belt. However, it appears we stumbled onto a fascinating mystery. Our science team ascertained that the stone resonates with a different quantum signature than that of our universe, which should be impossible unless this particular stone originated somewhere beyond the confines of our reality. Calgath said he was traveling to the asteroid belt to find more such rocky material, though he refuses to say why or for whom he's working. We've been ordered to Starbase 105 to transfer Calgath and the other survivors into Starfleet custody. We'll also make use of the Starbase's extensive science labs to see what more can be learned about this strange asteroid. So you guys have been ordered basically to escort this Calgath to Starbase 105 and to transfer him to Starbase security. Starbase 105 has several general traits, and traits, if you guys haven't encountered them before in Star Trek Adventures, they're like aspects in fate. They're just simply things that are true about a location or a person. Sometimes they can affect the mechanics of the game, sometimes they don't. These do not. These are just general traits. This is a deep space station in the Beta Quadrant near the Shackleton Expanse. It's under the command of Rear Admiral Chandra Sath, an Afrosian. You also notice that a Klingon bird of prey called the Kuvat is also in orbit around the station, as is an Orion merchant vessel. If you guys want to come up with another trait that might link your characters to the Starbase, maybe you know someone there, maybe there's like a certain event or festival, whatever you want. If you guys want to come up with another trait, you're more than welcome to right now.
Yeah, okay, cool. So when I created my character, I did it completely random apart from my my career, because I wanted to be an engineer. So one of the things I randomly wrote was death of a friend. So I lost a friend during an important mission. So I want to say this is kind of where their funeral was held. So it has a fairly special significance for me to keep them back here.
Cool, yeah, so you've been here before.
Yeah.
So maybe introduce your character, Craig, and explain to us how he might be feeling as the Sojourner kind of warps into the area of Starbase 105, and you can see it again.
Absolutely. So I'm Tusag Bav Brin. I'm a Tellarite engineer. Well, I'm an ensign, so I'm pretty low down. Mainly working in the kind of transporter and shipwide logistics, a bit of a warehouseman in effect, if you would, a Starfleet warehouseman. And yeah, I'm probably a bit apprehensive. This place doesn't hold the best experience for Tusag. Obviously, we're having to bury his friend here, so he's probably not overly happy about coming back, but he's going to go and do his duty.
And who was this friend? Do you know?
Yeah, that is someone I've not quite created just yet, so I will let you know as we go on.
Yep, absolutely. Feel free, if something occurs to you, just shout it out.
Cool.
Stephen, introduce your character, please, and what he's thinking right now.
So I'm playing Devoni Kader, who is a Betazoid, full blood. He is actually part of security, and he's on the ship because his mentor at the time told him it would be a good chance for him to start getting used to his rank as lieutenant, to kind of get out into the world, because he's normally been stuck on his home world. He's been entrenched in Starfleet Academy his whole life, as far as, you know, the actual Starfleet, Federation. So this is kind of him's first time being out by himself.
Yeah, so definitely a learning experience for Lieutenant Kader. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So Ensign Tav Brin, you as an engineer, you've been ordered by Captain Terrell to take this this piece of asteroid, this small sample, to the science facilities, to the science labs on the Starbase, and work with the staff there to figure out exactly what sort of what's strange about this rock. The science team aboard the Sojourner has determined that it resonates with a strange quantum signature, but beyond that, they can't really make up much more of it. And Lieutenant Kader, as the security officer, you are being trusted to transfer this Tellarite smuggler named Calgath to Starbase security, where he'll be held, and eventually the Judge Advocate General will determine his fate. So you guys have been ordered to report to the transporter room of the Sojourner for transport over to the Starbase. Ensign Tav Brin, you have some sort of like special container, some kind of carrying case that has the asteroid sample inside of it. And Lieutenant Kader, you've got the smuggler in your custody. And as you enter the transporter room with this smuggler right next to you, he seems gruff, but he doesn't seem particularly worried. And he's like, can we get on with this? The sooner that we can get over to that Starbase, the sooner my Starfleet contacts will clear this all up, and I'll be on my way, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
I'll make it quite aware to this criminal that as a fellow Tellarite, I'm hugely disappointed with the fact this is the path he's chosen to go down. He could have, you could have done something with your life, but you choose to be nothing more than a petty criminal.
Well, I would choose a life of freedom and being my own boss and wearing a monkey suit like that and taking orders from a Vulcan.
Starfleet is the way forward. They've given me a family and a home. They serve us well.
That may be, but I'd guarantee you haven't had as much fun as I've had.
We'll have to see about that.
So unless you guys care to take any actions to transport over, before you transport over to the Starbase, then we will transport over.
Yep, cool.
Yep.
All right, so you guys get up on the transporter pad, and Ensign Tav Brin, someone that you know probably pretty well, is behind the transporter this time, ready to transport you over to the Starbase. And the shimmering lights surround you, the transporter effect dissipates, and you guys are on board Starbase 105. It's kind of a bustling area with traders and civilians, families, and of course lots of Starfleet personnel as well. What do you do?
I am going to try and find someone to tell me which way is to the science labs. See if I can flag someone down, or if the kind of whoever is operating the pad at the other end, I'm sure it would be like a kind of welcome area. Just find out who the officer of the watch is and have a chat to them and find out where I need to go.
Yep, there's a human transporter chief behind the transporter console, and he says, welcome aboard, Starbase 105. There's a directory, a computer console behind him with a directory that will give you directions anywhere you want to go. And he sort of looks uneasily at your prisoner and says, I hope that you can transfer him into our custody as quickly as possible.
Absolutely, sir. That is the goal.
I'm going to start making my way towards the science labs.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to kind of figure out where security is so I can turn this guy over.
Okay. So you guys will split up, but
we're splitting the party. What's the worst that could happen?
So you guys are able to basically easily find, you guys are experienced Starfleet personnel, and you're able to find your way through the Starbase pretty easily. Which one of you would like to go first in sort of resolving what's going to be happening?
Stephen, I'll let you go first, mate.
Yeah, because mine could end up in death. That's fine. So I'm going to try to locate, obviously, either using the computer terminal or something, figure out where the security actually is. But I also want to take a look at the floor plan, because I don't trust this guy the way he's acting. I want to make sure I'm not going to put myself in any areas where there's possibility, you know, any wide open areas for ambushes.
So, yep. So as you study the floor plan, you realize that you've been transported into a part of the starbase that is definitely well within sort of the confines of the Starfleet area. You're not going to be walking through the promenade or anything like that. It's actually not that long of a trip from the transporter pad to the security station where you'll be transferring custody. But as for Calgath, he seems strangely at ease. You maybe get the sense that he's covering for something, but he's not betraying any sort of emotion. Really, he maybe seems like he's in a bit of a hurry. Like, can we move this along? I've got places to be, and I'm certain I won't be here very long.
Okay, I understand, sir. And if you'll follow me, actually, if you walk in front of me, we'll take care of this.
Oh, gladly, Lieutenant.
And so I'll start to lead him to security.
Okay. So you eventually find the Starbase security station, and there is a lieutenant commander, a Trill male, who is sort of standing watch, and he sees you enter and says, "How can I help you, Lieutenant?"
Yes, sir. I'm here to transfer a prisoner who was caught smuggling. He seems most anxious to be turned over.
Yeah, we received word from the Sojourner, and it looks like all of the transfer paperwork is in order, and he seems kind of bored with his job, and he's just kind of aimlessly pressing buttons on his computer console, and then he leads Calgath into a cell and then activates a force field. And then he turns back to you and he's like, so what's it like serving on a Galaxy-class starship like the Sojourner?
It's actually my first time being off-world. So it's new to me. It's an interesting experience. Meeting new people.
Yeah, so where are you from?
I'm actually from the Betazoid homeworld. It's where I've spent my entire life growing up. So recently just transferred security. So here I am.
So my name is Benjo Draw, and I was really hoping that my first deep space mission would be aboard a starship, but I've been on this starbase for almost 2 years now, and I'm just kind of itching to really get out there and experience life on the frontier. Is it as exciting as they say?
It can have its interesting times, but with Starfleet, what you need to understand is it's about our duty. It's not about where you're at. What you do is just as important.
Well, I guess what I do is fill out paperwork to transfer prisoners all day.
And it's important work.
He kind of rolls his eyes and says, if you say so. But hey, if you're going to be on the starbase for a while, would you want to maybe stop by the zero G gymnasium later and maybe have a little shootout on the phaser range?
That sounds fun.
Oh yeah, it's the most fun you're going to have on the starbase, I'll tell you that.
He's not painting a good picture of this place, is he?
No, he's not.
He doesn't like it here. Is there a time you would like to?
I'll tell you what. Just contact me on the comm, and I'll find someone to cover for me. I'll get away from here, and yeah, we'll go have a little competition on the shooting range.
All righty.
A little bit concerned about the security officer who's quite happy just to abandon his post.
Yeah, he's pretty bored with his job, pretty disappointed in his posting.
It's out with the grand ambition of joining Starfleet and kind of trekking around the universe and just wound up just on admin duty.
Anything else you want to do before the end of this scene?
No, I'll take my leave, and I will start heading back towards the section where our engineer was going.
To the science labs?
Yep.
Cool. All right, so that's the end of that scene. We will cut to the science labs. That's a wonderful segue. Thank you very much. And Ensign Tusag Brin, you emerge into these science labs, and there is a trait in here too. There's these huge picture windows that overlook this beautiful vista of space beyond, and you can actually see that there is a Klingon bird of prey that's sort of orbiting the station as well. It looks something like this.
Oh, nice. Classic style.
And there is a human female who greets you, and she says, hello, my name is Lieutenant Wrecker, Lieutenant Libby Wrecker, and I assume you are coming over from the Sojourner?
That is correct. I have this piece of asteroid for analysis.
Well, yeah, come on in. You're welcome to use our facilities. I have my orders, and I'm here to help you in any way I can. I'm afraid I'm not much of an expert on asteroid material, but I'll help you out if I can.
Okay, just can you point me in the direction of the kind of scanning equipment, and I'll have a look. I'm not a science officer, I'm an engineer, so I'm not sure what I can do, but I'll happily do some preliminary workup.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, she points out the various pieces of equipment in the room, and you, as an engineer, you understand mechanical things, and these are all basically machines designed to do different sorts of analyses on this rock.
Cool. I'll kind of place it on the side and use all appropriate PPE to ensure that it's kind of transferred out of its container into the appropriate scanners, and just conduct some basic preliminary scans. Yep.
And as you remove it from the container and you look at it, you don't notice anything visually or tactily amiss about it. It looks like you know, maybe a chunk of rock about the size of 2 fists.
Okay.
And at this point, the doors swish open, and Lieutenant Kader comes in, and he can join in this scene as well. But I think maybe even just dropped out.
Lost him.
Okay, well that's all right, Craig, because this is your scene anyway. So basically, what sort of questions would you have about this rock, and what sort of things would your character be interested in doing to figure it out?
I suppose, if anything, I want to kind of work out the makeup of it. What's it composed of? Is there anything unusual? And there must be something about it if the prisoner was trying to smuggle it out here.
Yep, absolutely. So this is going to be an extended task. And I don't know if you had a chance to do that in your previous experience with Star Trek Adventures, but basically you're going to do a series of tasks. That will, and after you complete a successful task, you will then roll your challenge dice to determine if you achieve breakthroughs. And you need to achieve a certain number of breakthroughs to sort of unlock the mysteries of this rock. So basically, your basic task is going to be reason plus engineering, since you are an engineer. And it's going to be difficulty 3.
Reason and engineering, did you say?
Yep.
Okay. So that's 12.
So it's difficulty 3, and you guys you haven't earned any momentum yet. So you'll probably have to at least pay some threat to get bonus d20s to roll for this.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've just rolled my 2 d20s, and I got a 14 and a 5, so that's 1 success.
Okay.
So I'll have to. Can I pay threat now? Kind of after the roll. Yeah. I'm gonna have to pay 2 threat to try and get 2 more dice if I can.
Okay.
Which gives me 5 and 5, so that's my 3 successes.
Okay. So at first, as you're starting to look at this rock, you don't have a whole lot of success because the rock seems so ordinary. You determine that it has the same sort of compositional makeup as any of the rock in the surrounding asteroid field. Doesn't seem very remarkable, but then as you work a little bit more, you determine that it does have sort of a strange quantum resonance. And that basically means it comes from a different reality. What you can also determine is this rock doesn't have just a single quantum resonance, it has several. It almost appears to you that this rock has passed through several different realities.
Well, that's a little bit crazy. And then he sends us a message from Steven saying he's lost all the power in his house.
Yeah, I'm looking at that too right now.
Okay, so
so you've got one success. You need to get a couple more.
I've got 3 successes.
Having achieved that first success, it reduces the difficulty from 3 to 2.
Okay, right. So I need to roll again, yeah?
Yep.
Yep, no problem.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry, I didn't do that right. So after your first success, you need to roll challenge dice, which are equal to 2 plus the discipline you just used.
So that was engineering, so 5.
Okay, so go ahead and roll 5 challenge dice and tell me what the total is.
Okay, so I've got a 1, 2 4s, and 2 6s.
A 1 and the 2 6s is 3. Okay, so that marks off 3. Okay, now you can roll your d20s again. It's now difficulty 2.
I will pay another threat to give me 3 dice.
Okay, so I've now got 3 threat.
And I have 2 successes.
Okay, so that will allow you to roll your challenge dice once again.
And that gives me a 4, a 5, and 3 6s.
4, 5. So the 5 and the 3 6s, so that's 4. So that will achieve 1 breakthrough because now you have more than 5 of the work complete. So now roll once again. This time it will now, the difficulty is now at 1.
Okay, so I'm not going to buy any additional dice.
Okay.
And I get 2 successes, 11 and a 6.
Okay, so that generates 1 point of momentum for you. And you can roll your challenge dice again.
I've got a 1, a 3, a 4, and 2 6s.
A 1, a 3, a 4.
A 1 and a 6s, isn't it?
Yep. Okay, that did not achieve another breakthrough, so you'll need to roll your d20s once again.
Okay,
but now it's yep.
Yeah. Okay, I've got a 7 and a 1.
Both successes, so you generate another point of momentum. You now have 2 points of momentum, and you can roll your challenge dice one more time.
Do 1s count as 2 successes?
Oh, yes, they do.
So that'd be 3.
Yep, okay. An extra point of momentum.
Okay, and then my challenge dice. 2 1s and a 6.
2 1s. Okay, so you have completed the work track and gotten to 10 total. So that achieves 2 more breakthroughs, and you needed 3. So you have successfully completed the extended task. And as I'm going to read this, stepped outside. Neighbors are all around or outside. He says that he guesses it's going to be a while. Looks like my entire subdivision has lost power. I stepped outside, and the neighbors are all around outside, guessing it's going to be a while.
You need an engineer on the job. I'm scanning some rock. I can't help.
Man, you can't make this stuff up. You don't have that when you play at a table, right? All right. Well, we'll roll with it. We'll play a little Star Trek, man. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, absolutely fine, mate. Absolutely
fine. All right. Awesome. So you have basically successfully completed the extended task. And as you are looking at the results, you also generated 3 points of momentum, and I've got 3 points of threat. As you are looking at the results, as you've been kind of working feverishly in the science lab, you discovered that in addition to this rock having passed through several different quantum realities, you get the sense that going back to maybe the densest part of the Pinnakin asteroid belt and looking for patterns in these quantum signatures might give you an idea of where this actually originated from. Because right now, it's got so many different quantum signatures kind of floating around inside its material that you're not sure exactly where it came from. So this is kind of a strange mystery.
Okay. Is the asteroid belt, is it kind of what's the density of the asteroid belt like? I'm assuming we probably wouldn't want to fly a Galaxy-class Starship in there.
Yep. So the Sojourner just traveled near the asteroid belt in the last few days, and there are various densities. You're guessing, because you did so well at that extended task, you think that probably the densest part of the asteroid belt is going to give you the best clues, and that would probably likely be a job for like a shuttlecraft, because the asteroids are simply just too close together, too dense for a Galaxy-class ship to maneuver. Okay.
So in that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to update my commanding officer. I'm not going to. I don't think I go straight to the captain with it. I'm sure that goes to the chain of command, and request permission to access a shuttlecraft from the Sojourner and basically go and do some reconnaissance.
Yeah, so Captain Terrell definitely wants to hear about this, and you're able to get through to her aboard the Sojourner. And she says, "Acknowledged, Ensign. We will schedule that mission as quickly as possible. For right now, stay aboard the Starbase and make sure that everything is the transfer of Calgath into Starbase custody has gone smoothly."
Okay.
At this point,
no,
go ahead, man.
No, I was just going to say, in that case, I'll kind of finish up here and leave the rock with. Does the captain want the rock leaving on the Starbase in kind of their custody for now?
Yeah, so as you are kind of finishing up your duties in the science lab, I'm going to spend 2 threat, and I'm going to create a complication, and it's called hacked. So suddenly you realize that the results that you have just tallied and put together in the science lab, someone has tapped into your computer and recorded all of this information and essentially stolen it. Whatever you now know about this rock, someone else knows.
Okay, like it. Am I able to try and perform some kind of trace to find out where that's gone to?
Yeah, absolutely. What kind of task do you think makes sense for that?
Security, I would think. Security and insight, maybe?
Yeah, that'll work for me.
Okay, so that gives
Insight
me... Yeah, so that's the 13. What difficulty?
We'll say that is... we'll say it's a difficulty 3, because whoever hacked in has been pretty good about covering their steps. But if you like the Lieutenant Wrecker, who's been kind of watching this, she's seeing the alarms kind of sound on your console, and she says, "What's going on? What's happening?"
You've been hacked. Someone's stolen this data. I need your assistance to find out who.
Yeah, absolutely. She kind of goes white for a second, and then she joins you at the console and starts pressing buttons, and she can assist you on this task, which means she'll roll 1d20. And let me find her stats. Here we go. Insight plus security, 11. Okay, so she achieves 1 success.
Yeah, I got 2 successes.
Okay, cool. So you get the 3 successes that you need. If you like, you can spend some momentum to improve the quality of your success, or you can just sit tight and find out what happens.
I will spend 1 point to improve.
All right, cool. So you are able to basically trace back whoever this is using old Starfleet access codes. They actually reactivated codes from 2267, which would have been over a century ago. This it's difficult to determine exactly who would have used these access codes, but these particular codes did belong to a certain starship, a certain Constitution-class starship, the USS Enterprise, NCC 171.
Be reckless with his access codes, leaving them here, there, and everywhere. Okay. Am I able, as part of that search, to find out where the hackers come from? Has it originated on the station or one of the ships surrounding?
Yeah, you think it did originate on the station.
Okay. Am I able to work out roughly where on the station? Kind of level-wise or which section?
Yeah, you think it probably came from ops.
Okay, right. Excellent. In that case, I will speak to Lieutenant Wrecker. Lieutenant, this hacker's originated from on board your ops department. You need to speak to your chief of security and get them up there straight away.
Yeah, she hits her comm badge and reports this breach, and there's suddenly yellow alert klaxons start flashing. No sirens or anything like that. Just kind of the station instantly goes under yellow alert.
Okay. I'll wait for her just to update and confirm that security are definitely heading up to ops. When she does that, I'm going to head to the prison, the detention section, because I need to speak to the prisoner. What was the prisoner's name again?
Calgath.
I'm speaking to find out if he knows who these access code, who may have used these access codes. So it seems a bit suspicious to me.
Yeah, so Lieutenant Wrecker heads up the turbo lift, goes up to ops, and says that she's going to take care of whatever she can up there. Security's been alerted. You head to the security area where you left Calgath, and he is basically sorry about that. Knocked out my headphones. He's basically sitting by himself in that holding cell, and he's got a pretty confident look on his face, and he says, "Is something amiss, Ensign?"
You know something's amiss. What's your game? What you playing?
You know, my employer, I never actually met him or her face to face. It was all done through anonymous communications and dead drops. I'm afraid I have nothing to tell you.
That seems awfully suspicious to me. Why don't you tell us what you're up to?
Maybe, how would you try to get some sort of information out of Calgath that he hasn't already provided?
I think I would try and intimidate him, I think. It's Tellarite. Maybe actually I might play the race card of, fellow Tellarite to Tellarite. We gotta look out for each other. Why don't you just tell me what's going on?
Yeah. He says, listen, I'd like to level with you. All I know is that whoever this was that employed me had some heavy-duty Starfleet connections. That's really all I know. Other than that, I just collected a paycheck.
When you say heavy-duty, what are you talking? You're talking Admiralty, you're talking Starship Captain, security forces.
I told you what I know, my friend.
Right, okay. What I'll do then is I'll kind of about face and head back to the security staff and make them aware of the data breach and that I think he's somehow involved. So there's, they need really to keep an eye on him.
Yeah, so as you're heading back to the science labs where the data breach actually occurred, as you're approaching, a man kind of steps into pace with you, and it is an Andorian in a Starfleet uniform, an older man. He has kind of grayish blue skin, and he says, and as you look at him, you see that he's got Admiral pips on his collar, and he says, I've heard there was a data breach reported, Ensign.
So yes, sir. Happened in the science lab 5 minutes ago. Is
the stone still in your possession?
No, sir. It's been secured. It's been secured in Science Lab 2.
Okay. Well, I'm going to need you to give me that sample of the asteroid.
Certainly, sir. I just need to confirm that with my commanding officer.
No, there's no time. I'm afraid I'm going to have to order you to turn over that stone, Ensign.
So that's outside the chain of command.
Do you see the pips on my collar? This is the chain of command staring you in the face.
You give me an express order.
You damn right I've given you an express order.
Very well, sir. I will about face and head back towards Science Lab 2. At the same time, I will signal the Sojourner to ask to speak to the captain.
Okay. The minute you press your comm badge, you feel the butt of a phaser in your back. And the supposed admiral says, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Tell them everything is fine. And I'll spend another point of threat to basically, right now he's got the drop on you. If If he wants to, he will act first.
Okay, understood. I will. In that case, radio the Sojourners, make them aware that security are looking into the data breach, and I'll update them at the next opportunity.
Okay, acknowledged, Ensign.
And I will head towards the science lab with the Admiral.
A wise decision, Ensign. If you do what I say, I promise you will not be hurt.
What's going on, Admiral? If you are indeed an Admiral.
Of course I'm an Admiral. They don't just hand these uniforms out, son.
I'm just getting this out of the laundry, you know. Okay, so I will head into Science Lab 2. Is there anyone else in the Science Lab? I know there's only Lieutenant Recker before, and she shot off to ops.
Yep, and she's gone. There were 2 security stationed outside the door, but when they saw you accompanied by an Admiral, they let you in. Right, so now it's just you and this Andorian inside the Science Lab.
Right. What's the interest in the rock for, sir?
I'm afraid this is classified information, Ensign. Strictly need to know.
Okay. He's still behind me, yeah?
Yep. Yeah, if you want him to be. You can you've got 2 points of momentum. You can sort of position him however you like in the room. Just tell me how your character responds in a
okay, well, I'm going to take him to show him basically take him to show him kind of where the rock's deposited, and inform him that he'll have to use his security clearance to get the rock out, as it's kind of I've introduced to station staff and I'm not a member of the station. And if he goes for that and starts to enter his security clearance, I want to try and get the drop on him if I can, and see if I can kind of take him out.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So he actually, I think I just got a new message. Let's see what it is. So it seems someone has hit a pole and knocked down the transformer in my subdivision. I'm out for the long haul. Sorry, guys. Nothing you can do about that.
You're an engineer, but I'm in the science lab. I can't do anything.
All right, man. So we're gonna kick the tires on Star Trek Adventures as a single PC sort of deal. So this will kind of this will make the adventure shorter. But I know that you've got to be up early anyway. It's late where you are. So
it's kind of 11 o'clock my time. So and with 2 small children who don't care about what time it is when they get up.
I got 2 little kids myself. I totally understand. So we'll keep this short. But
great, yeah.
So the Andorian, go ahead.
Basically, when he kind of leans into kind of enter his access code, I want to see if I can try and take him out.
Yeah. So as the Andorian leans in, the first thing you notice is he does start putting in access codes that are the same access codes that you caught breaking into the Starbase's computer system.
Okay, the old access codes for the hack.
Yes, exactly. And so if you want to, tell me how you would try to attack him, or otherwise.
So I'm kind of thinking while he's kind of leaning over, I don't know if he's going to have his phaser aimed at me or not, or if he's that engrossed. I'm hoping he's that engrossed in getting the rock out. I'll be able to kind of either strike him. I do carry a Type 1 phaser, which is classed as hidden 1. So is that I haven't looked at what hidden does. Does that just mean it's a small device?
I know that there is something about it's more difficult for people to detect that you have that. So I'll just say that he didn't notice that you're carrying this phaser.
All right. Okay. Cool. In that case, I'd like to try and stun him with it if I can.
Yeah. So that will be difficulty 2. Shooting someone with a phaser is always difficulty 2, and I think it is control plus security.
Yeah. Okay. So that is I've got difficulty of 14, and I want to spend a point of momentum.
Okay. So you use one of your 2 points, and so you get an extra d20.
Yeah. Okay. 19, 2 successes.
Okay. So you make a successful attack with your hidden phaser. And go ahead and roll your challenge dice.
That's 5.
It's Admiral's stats.
2 2s, a 5 and a 6.
Two twos, so that's 4, a 5, and a 6. So 2, 4, so 6 points. 6 points of stress, right?
Yeah.
And that activates an effect. Does your phaser have any effects?
No, it's just got charge and hidden 1. So it doesn't do anything else.
Okay, cool. So that, what did I say, 6 points of stress? Okay, so you shoot him kind of point blank with this phaser, and he's an older man. You realize that, but he's also built pretty well. And when you hit him, it sort of knocks him over into the computer console. But he's still able to enter in his access code, and the container that's holding the stone opens up. And he tries to grab at it, but he's been stunned, and so the rock kind of clatters to the floor. And he instantly he's going to turn around. Actually, he's going to turn around and take a swing at you.
Okay.
Because he actually will say that he dropped his phaser when you hit him with yours. So he turns around and does an unarmed strike, which will be daring plus security. And I'm going to need you. This is an opposed check, so you give me your daring plus security as well.
My daring and security is daring and security is 12 in total.
Okay, go ahead and roll 2d20s and tell me how many successes you get.
None.
None?
None at all.
Okay, so he sort of catches his balance. His phaser goes clattering to the floor. The stone goes clattering to the floor. But he recovers and turns around and he swings and he hits you in the face. And he does. We're going to roll some challenge dice. 4. One, 2, 3, 4. He does 5 points of damage to you with non-lethal damage.
Okay, I have the talent sturdy, which is one of my racial traits.
Okay.
You reduce the cost to resist being knocked prone by a knockout damage to 0. Is that, or you gain +1 soak against non-lethal attacks? So would that be 4?
Okay. Cool. So he turns around and swings and punches you right in the jaw, but you're sturdy and you're able to resist some of that damage, and you kind of come up ready for the fight. What do you do now?
Yeah. In that case, I'm going to kind of spear him and try and kind of force him back, almost like rugby tackle him into like the computer desk behind him.
Okay. So go ahead and give me an unarmed strike then.
What do I need for that? That's just what I'm not clear on.
Is there something in the rules that's specific to this?
I will find out pretty quickly.
I should have the PDF open, but
don't worry about it, mate. I'm on it. Types of attack. So if it's an improvised attack. Oh, that's here too.
I think there's also
for melee attack, the attacker attempts daring plus security with a difficulty of 1, opposed by the target's daring plus security difficulty 1. If the target wins, the opposed rolls because they've made a successful attack instead.
Okay, daring plus security. So he gets 2 successes.
I get 3 with a 1 and an 8.
Okay, cool. So narrate for me what happens as you make the successful attack.
So basically, he's taking that punch at me, so I've kind of rolled with the punches literally, and then as he's kind of brought himself back, I've then gone full pelt, speed him, shoulder tackle, drove him back into the computer desk behind him where he was trying to enter his access code, hopefully dislodging the rock if he picked it up, but also with the kind of express intent of trying to wind him and see if I can basically get him to the ground.
Cool. Yeah, you do. You guys sort of scrabble to the ground, and you're on top of him, and you feel the wind kind of get knocked out of him. And at this point, the doors swish open, and those two security guards that were standing outside enter, and they sort of they point their phasers at you, saying, "Get off the Admiral! What are you doing?"
I'll say he's tried to steal the rock. He's engineered the hack that Lieutenant Rex is investigating. So I'm trying to just my wrestler. I'll kind of start shouting at them to get in touch with the ops departments.
Okay. Let me see here. Give me a presence. Give me a presence plus command task with a difficulty of 2, and you do have 1 point of momentum left if you.
I will spend that point because this is going to be a difficult one, I think. So presence and command. That's 3 successes.
So yeah, that'll be enough. And so as you sort of shout out to these security guards, hey, this guy's not who he appears to be. He's trying something funny. He's trying to get the rock. They're like, they know something strange is going on, so they don't open fire on you. They're just like, both of you, stand up, stop what you're doing.
I will listen to the security guards and kind of stand up and step back, a good kind of 3 or 4 paces away from him, so I'm kind of out of his swinging range. If he wants to try to attack me, he'll give me a bit of heads up.
Yeah, so the Andorian male also, he gets up slowly and he puts his hands up like he's going to be really cautious. He's listening and he says, no, let's not do anything rash. I am a flag officer after all. And then as he stands, he presses something on his belt and there's a flash of light and he, poof, gone. It didn't look like a transporter to you. It didn't look like a transporter.
Oh, okay. A bit of misdirection, like it. I will try and get on the computer to do a bit of a sensor sweep to try and find out exactly where he went to.
Yeah, so this would be, let's try a reason plus, if you want to use sensors, we'll try reason plus science. Or engineering. You're an engineer. You can pick.
I'll go with engineering because I've got a better result in that. So okay. Reason, so 13. Only 1 success.
1 success is enough to do sort of a sensor sweep of the station and the surrounding space. And you realize that A, he's no longer aboard the station, and B, there was no direct transport into or out of the room. He used some other means of getting away.
Was he holding the rock when he transported?
Nope, he didn't have a chance.
When he disappears. All right, okay. Right, am I able to track his comm device to see if there's any Federation comm devices in nearby space?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You're able to do that, and you don't find anything out of the ordinary. There are no comm badge signals that should not be there anymore.
All right, okay. So he could still potentially be on the station somewhere. So what I want to do is I want to re-secure the rock in the data bank, get that secured away, and get one of the security officers to kind of encrypt it with their station security to try and keep it relatively protected.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
And then when that's been done, I want to try and get in touch with Lieutenant Wrecker, to find out what's happening and make her aware of this issue.
She comes back to the science lab, and she's got a couple more security officers with her, and she's sort of out of breath, clearly excited. She's like, "What happened? What's going on here? I heard there was they threatened to fire phasers at some admiral." Yeah,
I was held at phaser point, or gunpoint, I suppose, and marched here by the admiral. He wanted the rock. He wouldn't even let me speak to my captain to get authorization. So there's something not right here.
Who was this admiral?
He was an Andorian admiral. He was using quite old access codes. I don't think he was admiral.
Well, there's only one admiral on the station. That's the commanding officer. That's Admiral Sath, and he's an Afrosian. There aren't any Andorian admirals stationed to Starbase 105.
Okay, I think it's really important we check in on detention to make sure that Calgath is still there and secure. He's part of this.
Yeah, so as you guys go back to the security station, you see that holding cell is indeed empty. although the force field is still up.
Okay. I'll speak to the kind of officer on watch and just to get an idea of exactly what's happened.
Yeah, so that board Trill, Lieutenant Commander Benjo Draw, he's like, for once, he's actually pretty excited. He says, I don't know what happened. It must have been some kind of transporter. It's like he was there and then he was gone. Was
it a flash, just a flash of light?
Yeah, there's a flash of light. I don't know what happened. He's gone. We can't trace him.
Right, okay. So I'll kind of make Lieutenant Wrecker aware that base, we need to be escalating this to the Admiral and to the captain of my ship, because there's something not right here.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
The rock needs to be placed under kind of 24-hour armed guard as well.
Yeah, she agrees. She takes you directly to Rear Admiral Sath. I think that's what I named him. Yep, Rear Admiral Sath, who's up on ops. And ops right now is just sort of a flurry of activity. People are going from one station to the next. They're checking sensors. They're checking transporter logs. They're not really coming up with anything. And so you got this Afrosian who's got this long white hair, kind of a long white mustache. And he says, how could someone have gotten off of this station and gotten someone out of security from behind a force field without transporters? This makes no sense. If you have any answers for me, Ensign, I would be happy to hear it.
I think it's linked to this rock, sir. This rock has kind of extra dimensional properties. And I was in the process of going to the center of the asteroid field to try and conduct some sensor sweeps and get some more samples. I think they've somehow harvested or some kind of developed this technology to be almost like a kind of more modern and more alternative transporter device.
That makes perfect sense to me, Ensign. If you think that this rock has extra dimensional properties, it's quite likely that this so-called Andorian admiral somehow used it to sort of blink into a different reality. I absolutely agree that the Sojourner needs to be dispatched to the asteroid belt to investigate.
If I shall report back to the ship.
Well, good work, Ensign. You kept the so-called admiral from getting the stone.
Thank you, sir.
You showed unusual courage, especially for an ensign.
Oh, Starfleet is my family, sir. We've got to do everything to protect it.
All right, cool. Well, that'll be the end of that scene, and and the end of the episode. We would have had more stuff with more PCs. Cool, man.
Yeah, Fred, thank you very much, mate. Really enjoyed that. I appreciate you've had to really kind of, think on your feet there with it just being the two of us, but thoroughly enjoyed that. So hopefully we can continue. I definitely know that one of my friends is up for playing. He's really excited. He's just had to travel to Switzerland this week for business, but when he's back, I think he'd be really interested in playing.
Cool. Yeah, I'd appreciate that, man. Let's stay in touch. And I know we've got some weird time zone differences, but I hope we can do it again.
Yeah, no, more than happy to. It's been great. Thank you very much.
All right, cool. Yeah.